Living alone after 60 can be a strange, liberating, and sometimes baffling experience. It's a stage in life many people never pictured when they were younger. Maybe you always imagined sharing your home with a spouse, a partner, or a noisy household filled with family. But here you are, the quiet echoes in the hallway, the freedom to decide every little detail of your day, and the odd reality that sometimes things you've done all your life suddenly stop making sense. Some of these changes are practical, others are emotional, and some are just plain puzzling. The kind of things you don't think about until you're actually living alone in your 60s or beyond. For decades, recipes in your head have been scaled for families. A pot of chili big enough to feed a football team, or a casserole that could last through a snowstorm. Now you stand in your kitchen with only yourself to feed. And somehow you still end up making enough spaghetti for the entire neighborhood. It's not that you can't cook smaller portions, it's that your habits are decades deep. Grocery store packaging doesn't help either. Most value packs are designed for families. You might freeze leftovers, give some to neighbors, or eat the same soup for 3 days in a row. But the truth is, cooking for one often feels like more work than reward, and half the time a bowl of cereal for dinner wins. All the chopping, sautéing, baking, and cleaning for a meal that's gone in 10 minutes can leave you wondering if your freezer will eventually become your real dining table. Growing up, the dining room was the heart of family holidays. You'd set the table with the good china and polish the silverware. But now you're eating at the kitchen counter, on the couch, or even standing over the sink with a sandwich. The formal dining room just sits there, quietly collecting dust and becoming a storage space for unopened Amazon boxes. The idea of setting the table for one feels almost comical. The effort to make it nice doesn't always seem worth it. And those big family dinners are now once-a-year events, if that. A whole room dedicated to meals you rarely host starts to feel like wasted space. And you might catch yourself daydreaming about turning it into a reading nook or a plant-filled sunroom. When you lived with family, buying the giant ketchup bottle or the 36-roll toilet paper pack made sense. Now, living alone, you're buying a gallon of mayonnaise that could last until the next presidential election. The savings are tempting, and it's almost a reflex to buy value size. But bananas will turn brown before you finish them. Bread will go stale, and the gallon of milk will go sour before you're halfway through. By the time you use up what you bought, you've either wasted food or grown tired of it. Living alone means you often trade bulk bargains for smaller, fresher options unless you have a very large freezer and a love for leftovers. You used to watch live TV with family, flipping channels during commercials. But now you mostly stream shows, rewatch old favorites, or spend more time on YouTube than on network television. Still, you keep paying $100 or more a month for cable just in case. It's part habit, part comfort, like keeping a landline long after everyone switched to cell phones. But when you're living alone, it's worth asking why you're paying for 200 channels when you only watch 6. The cost doesn't match the value anymore. And dropping cable could free up money for a weekend getaway you've been putting off. Open your kitchen cabinet and you might find 8 wine glasses, 10 coffee mugs, and enough dinner plates to serve a wedding party. When you live alone, washing 2 dishes a day feels reasonable, yet somehow you own enough tableware to survive a dishwasher breakdown for months. It's not that you plan to host big gatherings often, it's just that downsizing your kitchen feels like letting go of a part of your past. Those dishes hold memories of dinner parties, family reunions, and celebrations, but practically speaking, you'll rarely use them all again. And you end up maintaining, storing, and cleaning far more than you need. When you had a family at home, laundry piles were endless. Now you might only have enough dirty clothes for 1 or 2 loads a week, yet you still find yourself tossing in small loads just to get it done. The result is more water, detergent, and electricity used than necessary. Half the time you're washing clothes that aren't even dirty. They just didn't get put away. Doing laundry out of habit rather than necessity only adds to your workload, when you could let the basket actually fill up before running a load. Many people over 60 keep living in the same big house they raised their kids in. At first, it feels comforting. But when you're living alone, heating, cooling, cleaning, and maintaining extra rooms you never enter starts to feel absurd. Selling the house or downsizing is an emotional decision tied to memories and identity. Yet from a practical standpoint, all that extra space is a lot of work for one person. You're essentially managing a small hotel for a guest list that rarely arrives. Downsizing could free time, energy, and money for experiences you actually enjoy. Your medicine cabinet might still look like you're caring for a household of 6 multiple brands of painkillers, half-used bottles of cough syrup, expired, allergy pills, and enough bandages for a sports team. It's partly habit, partly just-in-case thinking. But medicines expire, and keeping duplicates takes up space and adds clutter. Medical needs change as you age, and many items might not even be safe or effective anymore. Living alone is a good reason to simplify. Keep only what you use and check expiration dates regularly. Your closet may still be filled with fancy dresses, suits, and occasion shoes that rarely see daylight. You keep them just in case. But sometimes years pass without wearing them. Comfortable clothes become your real wardrobe, while the special occasion pieces just take up space. Clothes are meant to be worn, not stored, and at some point it's worth asking if using them now might bring more joy than saving them for a future that may not come. After decades of living with others, silence at home feels strange at first. You might still find yourself tiptoeing in the morning or turning down the TV so no one will be disturbed. But the truth is, there's no one else there. Living alone means you can sing while you cook, play music loud, and talk to yourself without judgment. Yet many older adults find it hard to break the habit of keeping quiet, as if they're still sharing space. You have the freedom to create your own noise, and it's okay to embrace it. Silence is nice, but so is filling your home with life and sound. Living alone after 60 can be both freeing and confusing. You carry decades of habits from a different stage of life, some comforting, others impractical. The trick is figuring out which ones still serve you and which ones are just taking up time, space, and energy. Letting go of the things that no longer make sense opens the door to a simpler, more intentional way of living. This chapter of life isn't about doing everything the way you used to. It's about making choices that fit who you are now.